We are going.
All right.
So, for endgame content, I think they might do a DLC, like a prequel DLC, before the first 60 minutes of gameplay, so you see Batman's death actually happening. I think that's a possibility.
hmm Yeah. I
Alright?
mean, for me personally, I think end-game content has to do with um maybe some of the side villains getting a bit more, you know, spotlight time because I think that's the main key focus right now for WB Montreal's to get these side villains that never got the spotlight in the Arkham games to have their spotlight in this game. Like
Yeah,
Clayface wasn't much of a spotlight in City or
yeah, Clayface was really only at, what, the end of Arkham City?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
and
sorry, I've
and
got a cold.
yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
Um, Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, I'm good.
All right, so yeah, when it comes down to like other characters, like Mr. Freeze has had a big story arc from Asylum, not Asylum, from City to Night, Origins and Night. He's had like a three-part story arc, so I don't think he needs a big major part, just like Harley Quinn. But I think Clayface, I think there is some few villains that I have got a list for that hasn't been announced yet that I'm probably going to be talking about in my own video. That potentially would make a really cool big deal for endgame content. A really good prime example would be Bronze Tiger, because he was in the Arkham game, but he was only in Arkham Origins Blackgate. But imagine him in Gotham Knights where you have to be able to face him, and his combat is basically he dashes at you,
Yeah.
and he's part of that League of Assassins cult, so to say, of one of the factions.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I was personally thinking they could probably do something with Firefly, or yeah, Firefly would probably be a great idea because he was in Origins and Night, but he wasn't in like all the main games, and he really only had like one or two boss fights, and even then one of them was
Yeah,
a side mission.
yeah. I just think that what's the word I'm looking for? It's like some of these characters were underutilized in the Arkham games, but when this game comes out, I feel like they'll be more used in a really fleshed out way. Because
I I completely agree.
and I also think that this, I've seen negativity for this game so much on YouTube. I'm also bring this up here is that people are saying that look, oh, Gotham Knights is a mid game or Gotham Knights isn't a
A
isn't
mobile
one of the
game.
games. It's a mobile game or worse than that.
Yeah,
How is it?
I don't know where these people are getting that from. WB Games Montreal specifically canceled for the PS4 and Xbox One version so they could enhance it for the Series X, S, and PS5 players.
Yeah, and they also said in the Q&A FAQ thing as well is that like they're not doing crossplay either. That is something which is I'm kind of bummed out about because I really wanted to play with my co-host, which is a DC Comics gamer. Myself and him were talking about this, like they had plans for crossplay, but that might have changed.
Yeah, I really don't like the fact that WB Games Montreal didn't make a cross play. I mean, I would have loved to play like Xbox to PlayStation or PlayStation to Xbox. But then again, I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind just buying like a used copy of the game for like 20, $30 in like a couple years' time.
I mean at the end of the day, this game is supposed to last us more than 6 months. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And with what is it, Suicide Squad coming out within like what the next couple of months, that will probably Top Knights will hold us over until then.
Gotham Knights will hold us over till Suicide Squad release date, which will probably is spring. It's still
Yeah,
spring 2023.
yeah.
But
I
we
don't
don't know
really
if
follow
it's
much Suicide Squad news. I heard about the delay, but I haven't heard much of it since.
The only thing I've heard from the Suicide Squad game is that the fact that it's a full player co-op, and that game is in the Arkhamverse, and it's
Another Ar-
next gen.
yeah, another Arkham game is something that I would really like to see. Like I'd like to see like the aftermath of Batman's death and stuff like that, and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah, but I just think when it comes down to the end game stuff like Gotham Knights, I just think that that all what WB and Montreal are doing is not Avengers, like so-called what Marvel Avengers are doing, but they're making even better, so to say.
Yeah,
If you get what I mean, it's like so there is that longevity, so there's still unhidden stuff that we could explore, and I'm doing 4 walkthroughs anyway. I'm doing one live stream. I'm playing one of the nights on YouTube live, and I'll have a viewer on every stream, and we can co-op play, and that is something I wanted to do. And to even add further to this is like it's it, it, we can explore everything in Gotham Knights essentially. That is something. The cool thing is like there's 400 plus years of it, so I
yeah,
would
yeah. I'd love
love
to
to see
find out
more.
more about this Gotham as the game story goes on.
Yeah. What type of endgame content would you want though? That's the question for you.
What type of endgame content would I want, though? I would personally like to see them coming to terms with, Batman's death and just accepting that he is gone, but still remembering him.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay.
because it would be more realistic. Because you know how if you lost someone, you would want to, think that, all right, I still have them in my mind, but over time you come to terms that you have lost them and you can move on.
So like a grievance phase, so to say.
Yeah,
You're
like,
going through
yeah,
grievance.
from the start to the end of the story, they would just be grieving over Batman's death, and then they would learn to accept it as the game goes on,
Mm.
which would be pretty realistic.
I mean, they're doing that in the story already, but I mean, towards the end, like what really needs to happen now is like villain sectors or something like that, or villain um what's it called, boroughs, so to say. So let's say um the Monarch Theater sector. If there's Penguin's gang or something like that, we have to take him on. That'll be pretty cool
Yeah,
because we know that Penguin's in it. We know that we don't know Riddler's in it, but we know that Clayface and Harley Quinn and Mr. Freeze are the only several characters so far that have been announced.
yeah, yeah, I personally don't really want Riddler in this game like at all. Like, I think we've had like four or so Arkham games with him in it. I think we'd have enough Riddler for one lifetime.
I mean, if we're gonna have Riddler in this game, the one thing I wouldn't do Riddler trophies. Instead, do Riddler death trap to save for civilians.
Yeah, the death traps would be a much better idea than the trophies. I have not once ever 100%ed a Batman Arkham game. I have completed the story multiple times, but I've never gone ahead and actually 100%ed them.
I've completed Arkham City, 100% of that on the PS3, but I never did Arkham Knight completion because that was too complicated. I was just like, nah, too much. You're asking too much of me, Rocksteady.
Yeah,
So
there's what, like 450 trophies in that game?
yeah, so it's
Oh.
majority of
What?
majority of those were from the Batmobile as well, mind you.
Oh. I'm sorry, man, I've got a cold.
That's all good. Um, but yeah, I I think that's what we we got. I think mostly, or do you want to add more?
I personally would like to see maybe King Shark or whatever his name is in Gotham Knights. I mean, I understand that he's doing a Suicide Squad, but I'd like to see WB Montreal take their own version on King Shark.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, let's be
And
perfectly honest, he wasn't in the Arkham games unless you count the reference in Asylum.
no, he wasn't. He wasn't in Arkham games as only reference, and it's similar in so many ways, like the whole Easter egg. Like everyone's talking about Teen Titans, and for the next WB Montreal game after this, and I don't think where WB Montreal's end game content will lead up to that. I don't think that that'll be the case.
Oh, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm just say at most it might be a Gotham Knights sequel. I'm just say that.
From what I was told, like it's completely, it's still a highly recommended. It's a Superman game. It's still highest of status up there. It's either Superman or Justice League. I don't see Titans because Titans would just be, even though it's a popular, franchise, but is it more popular than Superman or Justice League?
Yeah, a Superman game would be awesome. Wasn't like the last Superman game like Superman Returns and that was on the 360?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was a Superman game on the PS2 and the 360, and there was gonna be a Superman game after that, from Factor 5, which got cancelled and scrapped. But the idea that they had was such a brilliant idea. It had three different chapters, and it all structured out really well. And it was going to be a semi-open world superhero game.
yeah. I personally love to play at least one like Superman story related game in my time and complete it start to end. Not 100%, but play a Superman game because that sounds absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I think it's well overdue for a Superman game. I've been saying this a lot long, I would say for the last 4 or 5 years now. I've been doing talking to other YouTubers and whatnot, and they'll be like saying the same thing. It's like a Superman game is necessary at this point. We've had so many Batman games. We've had so many, you know, only just Batman. We haven't had a Superman solo game. We haven't had a Justice League game. We've only had like Injustice. That was it. It's like a fighting game, but there's not been any other character has had the spotlight.
Yeah, I think if anything, we've had far too many Batman games, if anything. So we've got the three Lego Batman ones, and then we've got the two Telltale ones, and we've got four Arkham ones, all of which have Batman as the main character.
Yep, and this has Batman-esque in Gotham Knights. Is Batman-esque um, vibes to it.
Yeah,
So so it's like this is like a fifth Batman game type of game, and I'm just like, why can't it be something else, something different? Like we want a Superman game, we want a Justice League game. I know we're getting a Wonder Woman game, so I'm still hyped about that. And that's been done by Monolith Productions, which is the people who made Shadow War, Shadow of Mordor games. So I'm really excited about that.
what I would love to see is maybe what is it? So, yeah, sorry, I'm a little lost.
What would you like to see going forward though? Like after Gotham Knights is done, after the end game content is done,
I
what would
like
you like them to do?
I like to see them maybe do another game, not Gotham Knights related, but maybe a Superman game, Wonder Woman game. Actually, no, scratch the Wonder Woman part. We're already getting one from Monolith.
Yeah,
But any other game that isn't in the Gotham Knights universe would be great, and then go back to Gotham Knights for a sequel. That'd be nice.
that would be cool. That would definitely be cool.
So like
I
I'd like to see like every other game as like a Gotham Knights sequel or something. Not like every other game going forward, but like have like 4 or 5 games, same amount as the Arkham ones.
true, but I here's my problem with that. It's just that people will say that this is too much.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. People that could get old really fast. You don't want like the same characters, same voice actors, same everything, like 4 or 5 different times. It worked for Arkham, but it probably won't work so well second time around going into a new series.
Yeah, it won't work around. It won't work well for the second time round. And you got. Let's be quite frankly honest on this, right?
Yeah,
WB Montreal have been teasing us with their second project for the last 6 to 12 months.
yeah, that's true. here's a theory. I'm thinking this right now. Gotham Knights could potentially be like a test to see how people would take their style of making video games, and if Gotham Knights does well, which so far it's looking pretty good right now with the amount of marketing and stuff they're showing. Then I would imagine that they're going to use that and then announce a new game.
Yeah,
So Gotham Knights could really all just be a test.
I think it's gonna be a great game. There's no question about it.
Yeah,
So that is big on its own merit.
yeah. The fact that the Court of Owls are in there just says something a lot. Like, I would love to see a Court of Owls video game. I don't know a whole lot about them, but from the vibes I got from the trailers, they seem like really interesting villains.
Yeah, it's very interesting to say the very least. Like the villains they've chosen and where where this is gonna take everything going forward. Now, what I want to know is from WB Montreal is how long is the game gonna take to beat?
Yeah, I've been wondering that for months on end now too. Like, is it gonna be like the same as an Arkham game, like 6 7 hours? Is it gonna be like 20 hours? Is it gonna be 40 hours? Like, what's it gonna be?
My guess is it's gonna be if I if I had to guess, I'd say 20 hours,
Yeah,
25 hours at the very
I'm,
least.
yeah, I'm gonna guess around the same time as maybe Spider-Man, even though that's a PlayStation exclusive and this is a multi-platform game. I'm just gonna guess like it's around the same time as Spider-Man, which is like 15 to 20 hours.
hmm So that being said, we'll have to wait and see though, innit, when the game releases in a couple of weeks.
Yes, I can't wait for the game to release. Time seems to be going so slowly, but you know what? It will pick up once Gotham Knights comes out. I'd imagine my entire world will have to stop for like 3 or 4 days while I complete the game.
I've already got plans set out for Gotham Knights, and uh, it's all there for me. Like Gotham Knights creations, community, having community members on, and like I'm gonna be doing multiple collaborations, you know, with different people.
Yeah, I'd like to start
And
reaching out to do some new collabs as well.
I'm doing, not only am I doing collabs with you, by the way, I'm doing collabs with Slick Moth, if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of
Um,
him. I think I used to watch his Return to Arkham stuff, his Telltale stuff a few years back when those games were still on pre-order.
yeah. So I'll be doing a collab with him in the future. Don't know when, but it will be done soon. And I'm also doing collab. I've just recently done a collab with DC Comics Gamer, who's my co-host for Inside the Multiverse. It's a DC Comics podcast that I do every 2 weeks, cover everything from the world from DC games, movies, and TV show.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about Gotham Knights the week after the release, so we can give our review.
Yeah, I did a collaboration with Podcast Now a couple days ago, and we talked about The
Yeah,
Expanse, Spider-Man 2, and The Wolf Among Us 2. Yeah, he's a great guy. You should reach out to him if you want to do a collab.
I would love to. Just know the time difference is a big thing for us,
Yeah, yeah, it's a pretty big difference for me and him as well. I think I'm 3 hours ahead of where he is.
and I'm like 5 hours ahead of you guys, 5 or 6 hours
Ooh,
different.
so it's what, like 12 o'clock where you are, 'cause it's 5 where I am.
Now it's 10:30 now,
Ooh, 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.
p.m.
Ooh, that's late.
Yeah, it's late. I stay up late anyway till 4 o'clock in the morning because
Yeah,
I'm doing a lot of
I'm a night
uh,
owl as well. I'm not really much of a daytime kind of guy.
yeah. But is do you mind if I plug myself away
Yeah,
from
sure.
the video? So guys, if you aren't following me on Twitter, which is at Teladia Plays, I'm sure Cat Kitty Games will put that in the description.
Yep.
Which is at Teladia Plays, and also my YouTube page, which everything Gotham Knights to Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, the Black Adam, DCEU stuff. I've got all of that on my YouTube page, and I'm building a community for you know basically for everyone to connect for DC and all things good DC stuff is all there.
Yeah. Hey man, I got one more question for you.
Go on.
Do you think Catwoman will make an appearance in Gotham Knights?
Yes, and I don't think she'll be an ally.
I'd like to see a video game where Catwoman isn't an ally, actually. I'd like to see one where she and Batman don't have romantic interests in each other, or they want to work together, like the Arkham games. I'd actually like to see it be like hero versus villain this time round.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be a villain this time,
Yeah,
or anti-hero,
yeah,
at the very least.
yeah, that
All
sounds
right.
awesome. So, thank you for coming on, man.
No, no worries. Thanks for having me on. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys do check me out on YouTube. It's at Teladia Plays, and I'm sure Cat Kitty Games will put that in the description. Like, share, and subscribe this video. It helps the YouTube algorithm with for my good buddy here. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.